Hey you guys, and welcome to my March wrap up. So last month, I didn't really read that much. Mainly, I already knew I wasn't going to read a whole lot because it was my birthday month and I made a lot of plans to do stuff. Well, I knew I was going to make a lot of last minute plans to do stuff. But there was also the fact that in the last week of February, I had started Person of Interest. And so during the month of February, I binge watched the rest of it. So that's like 4.5 seasons, I believe. I'm not even sure. Whew, my computer fell, luckily, onto a pile of clothes I was supposed to do. Whew, that was great. Anyway, so I binge watched like Person of Interest. I love that show. If you want to talk about that show, let me know. But you guys know it's an hour-long show and there's 23 episodes a season, except for the last season, which only had 13. On top of that, I binge watched most of Rules of Engagement. It's a 30-minute comic show, but I only have like 1.5 seasons left at this point. And that's on top of my usual TV watching, movie watching, YouTube, lots of YouTube watching. So there was that. All that combined made me read 2 books last month. Yeah. So, I don't really have that much to talk about, so let's just go ahead and get started. So, the first book I read was on my Kindle, and I'm using my Kindle Prime at this point. So, on Kindle Prime, you can borrow 1 book a month that's eligible, and I read the sequel to Guns and Boys, He is Poison, which is Guns and Boys, He is Mine, which technically, these 2 books are almost one, almost like they're broken up into one, sort of. I don't really know how that's supposed to work, but this is the one I laughed myself silly off at last month. So if you haven't seen my previous wrap-ups, I'll link them down below. But suffice it to say, it follows this guy, right, and he is born into like the Sicilian mob and stuff, and he's kind of really bad at it, like seriously bad at it, and he doesn't really get that much better in book 2. Maybe slightly towards the end there is some slight character growth a little bit on both their sides. I think they have to declare a bit more for each other. There was some topics that were discussed that I think kind of needed to be discussed because there were some issues on when they were first getting started together. And it isn't even the issue I should be thinking of. Oh, but anyway, I rated the first one for you guys when I talked about it 4 stars, but I'm not sure if you guys ever do something. I do like go back sometimes and I rate either higher or lower to my whimsy, and I shall do like a discussion video on that one time. But I rated this one, like I went back and rated it 3 stars, like for sure, and as well as this one, like 3.5, like that's how it goes, because I just have to tell myself sometimes that I can love something and still give it 3 stars, because the issues that both of these books, like I love these characters to a certain extent, one more than the other, and the writing is good, and I'm curious as to what happens next. But seriously, there's some of the problems you cannot ignore. Also, there is some more random information that is just spurted out in this book, and I'm still not over it. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do what I did last month. But with this series, there's just like random information that is just kind of, from one sentence to the next. Like, there's no build up. They just tell you, and you're left like. But although in this one, I will say that when the guy was reacting to this information, he was like, what? Like, he had more of a reaction than the first thing. And I'm just wondering if the author can go for a trifecta for the 3rd book. Because I literally want to do like a whole discussion video, like when this is just over, just to tell you guys what I am not spoiling for people. So like comment down if you really want to know what the spoiler is. But I gave this one 3.5 stars, and I rated it almost on the same level, yet just slightly a bit higher because of the character development that happened, especially towards the end, that I'm really looking forward to reading the next book. So there is that. Moving on. The next book that I read was one of my butter reads. So sorry, Jen. I am reading the second sequel to The Magicians really soon. I swear. But anyway, Buddy read City of Bones, the first book in the Mortal Instruments, with Kristina from The Princess Gummy Bear. And as I was rereading this, number one, I already basically knew like all the main things, so nothing really was a surprise to me again. Like the only thing like I didn't remember was how like some of the big things exactly came to handle. Like there was like just small details here and there that I've forgotten, but part of the reason I want to reread this was just to be sure about all the facts and stuff of everything that happened to the first book versus what I've heard since then, like slightly spoilery things and stuff like that. Plus, I always like rereading a book to get back into the atmosphere. Do you guys do that sometimes? And I rated this like I did the first time. Well, I went back and changed. I rated it 5 stars the first time. I went back and rated it 4 because it's like a 4.5. I actually liked it a little bit more the second time around, but still not enough to give it 5 stars. Because like I love the characters, but I don't know, something just like holds me back from like giving it a complete like 5, like perfection. Just wasn't. But I really do like Jace and Clary, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in their story. For those of you who don't know, just follows this girl Clary who finds out that there are these things called shadow hunters who hunt demons, and the shadow hunters are part, like, they're Nephilim, they're part angel, part human, and then there's all these things that go bump in the night, which I forgot what they called it. Like, basically, I'm just gonna say the underworld for now, where there's vampires and werewolves and all these other things, and they're like part demon, but they're not like whole demon and stuff like that. So I really like this world, and I'm really interested to see how much it goes into further, because I'm really want to know more about like that underworld kind of section, as well as get some more into the shadow hunter business. So there we go. Those are the 2 books that I read last month. You guys let me know what you guys read in the month of March. How are you guys doing with your Goodreads goal? Because even though I only read 2 books, I am still at this point like 7 books ahead, and have only read 1 book so far this month. So like I'm doing okay. I just have to turn off the computer and make my reading the #1 priority so that I can finish all the books that I've been wanting to do. So I'll talk to you guys later. Happy reading. Goodbye.